Hello, everyone. It's David St. Loth here, otherwise known as Sentinel, my online moniker, nom de guerre, for about 10 years now. If you want to know a little bit more about my ideas in various areas, you can Google my name, and you'll see a pretty wide-ranging set of responses to uh, the various websites and postings, and uh, you'll get an idea for what I feel about various topics, and uh, you'll know a little bit about where I'm coming from when I make the statements that I do here. This particular video is about some ideas that I've been having on the origins of religious thought. Basically, I think that religious thought is something that derived from original ideas on creation and the blessings that were conferred on particular individuals in groups of hunter-gatherers in the ancient past. I have a document of ideas that I keep. I highly recommend it. That if you're the type of individual that has brainstorms all the time, and you don't necessarily have all the time in the world to pursue a deep investigation of these brainstorms, that you write them down, and then you can come at them, come back to them at some later date to investigate them further. I just thought it would be interesting to actually list down this particular brainstorm because of the relevance of it with regards to the ideas on morality that I mentioned in my first video. So I'm just going to read verbatim what I wrote down on this particular idea date, which was March 23rd. So I'll start now. The last week or so, I've been thinking about the origins of religious thought. I've been curious about the originating germ of religious ideas. Was it first inspired in a society, or did it have its germ in individuals? My assertion is that the ideas always predated the groups of individuals. Family bands would share existing ideas on how the world works with their siblings and progeny. As these early hunter-gatherer bands went out and found success, they were able to reproduce and grow as a group. The initial ideas of creation propagated by the most dominant individuals in those groups would then spread to larger groupings of people. As the perceived success experienced by having these ideas grew to larger bands, and owing to the sharing of knowledge and skills, there was accumulation in these groups for a desire to explain their success on the original spiritual and religious ideas. The shaman and mystical men and women then came into play as avatars to these mystical forces, these perceived mystical forces, and would then weave control of these groups of people by instituting practices and rituals to appease the various supposed spirits and deities in order to ensure long life and success for the group into the future, while affecting control over the group. The structured religions arose, I believe, from these initial seeds in cultures all over the world. The variability in the different foundation stories is full evidence of the random nature of the original thoughts that migrated through those particular successful societies as they grew to dominate their particular corner of the world. The underpinnings of morality, which was described in my first video, arise naturally from altruistic cooperation between multiple individuals that attended the growth of societies, and the flowering of the social glue called religion or spirituality formed only after the origination of ideas on creation in the minds of these early successful individuals. However, the description of one's surroundings in spiritual terms in an individual does not detract from the real advantages afforded by participating in cooperative altruism with close and near family members. Without societies, there are individual thoughts in the minds of people, but this is not actual religion, since religion is a set of shared rituals between a group of people, not a set of beliefs of the one person. So morality exists as a natural aspect of cooperative altruism, I believe, whereas religion only comes into being after the advantages of cooperative altruism have been given rise to the comfort, shared knowledge, and success over the environment that allows for the creation of shared rituals based in part or all on the dominant mental frameworks that ancient individuals, uh, ancestors of a particular successful group, then went on to form into societies which used those creation stories to explain their success. Um, so now this is it ties together ideas that I've seen expressed by other authors and that I've read about. Uh, but the key difference here is that I am pretty sure that cooperative altruism predated structured religious ideas. That is, religion in the form of rituals where people perform a set of practices together or in a group. You know, Ash Wednesday is an example of something that large groups of Catholics do. Uh, and many religions have these sorts of shared rituals. And these were basically created by the avatars of the religion, as I mentioned earlier, the shaman, the mystical men, the mystical women, to say, see, this is why we have been successful in the past, and by doing these things, we continue to be successful into the future. And this makes a very powerful medicine for the mental state of these individuals who can see all around them that indeed their society has been successful. And so it seems to them to be natural that the ideas of religion, which they have been surrounded with from their birth, uh, uh, are obviously to them the reason why they've been successful. Um, it also, unfortunately, forms the foundation of why any one religious group or set of practices uh, are completely anathema to another religious a set of religious practices and beliefs, because uh, what is believed in one group to have been the seed of its success are entirely different things in another group. And when those groups meet the boundary, there's always an explosion at the boundary, it seems. Uh, there are few religious uh, groupings where there isn't any friction at the boundary. There are some, for example, ideas in Buddhism, um, but uh, this is a general exception to the rule, where mostly the religious ideas that are created are such that they are insular and they are extremely strict on how it is that outsiders should be dealt with. So this is an extension of the idea that I had this date, and feel free to submit video responses or text responses to the comments at the bottom of the video, and I'll see you the next time I create a video.